Alright, Paper Gut here, another replay review. This time we have Wololo. Wololo has started playing this game recently, so he's currently a bronze player actually on the ranked ladder. But he messaged me on my coaching Discord, asked me to check out any of his games. So I picked this one because Order of the Dragon seems to be the civ you've tried the most. I see you're flipping through civs a lot, so this is a good piece of advice for you or anyone who's brand new to the game. This is the time to try out different civs, look up a build order, try it out, play a few games with it. But once you decide you really want to start to improving, pick one civ to really focus on. If you've watched a lot of my videos, you've probably heard me talk about this, but there's kind of two broad things you're learning when you learn this game. You're learning the game itself and how to play it, and how the feeling of the game and the different skills within the game, and then you're also learning the civ and that's in what the civ's good at, what it's bad at, its timings against, and kind of like how it plays against the other 15 civs on the roster. So sticking with one helps that learning process go faster. And the more you switch, the harder it is to kind of pick up your skills level. And then once you learn that civ and you climb a little bit, then you can start switching different civs. But if you really want to learn quickly, focusing on one is your best bet. So we're going to look at this Order of the Dragon against IU-Bit. So, the tough thing about IU-Bit is that IU-Bit likes to fast castle, can do it fairly quickly. As Order of the Dragon, you have kind of two options here. One is to fast castle yourself, though you will be beaten to fast castle by IU-Bit. So, it becomes how can you secure a couple relics for yourself, and how well can you then respond to their Camel Lancers. You can do Knights, you can do Spearmen, any of those options work. The other option you have as Order of the Dragon is to do a Spearman Rush, to kind of push them off gold, push them off berries, and slow them down. This isn't perfect because they get the free unit off their age up if they do the military wing, and that can shut down your spear, and that feels kind of bad. So, but I've also seen it work successfully where you just keep attacking and you keep pressuring, you keep them off gold, and you just kind of wear them down. But the weakness of the Order of the Dragon is mistakes are compounded. If you lose a unit badly, that's a lot of resources down the drain. Like if you lose a spearman, that's like 200 resources. Normal civ loses a spearman, it's like 100. So it's every mistake is larger, but your units are much stronger. So I actually view Order of the Dragon as kind of a difficult civ. And that's not to say if you like it, you shouldn't play it. You should, but it is a little bit more unforgiving than potentially other civs. So let's jump in and see. First, I'm going to be looking for, do you have a build order here that you're using? And I perused a few of the other games, not like extensively, but to see that you seem to have a build order when you jump into a civ, which shows that you like look it up before you play it, which is important. Build orders are just a great way to get the opening down and not have to worry about that. So the first thing is the inefficiency of your scouting pattern. You went out and around and you're back, so you miss this entire corner. And you're kind of giving, if your opponent is scouting efficiently, an advantage, because your opponent will probably, a good scout usually will dive center, come out and get a whole side. So in this case, if he's done that, he's getting more of his side than you. And then he can get this other side. And potentially even steal his sheep that potentially up here, which there are one. Let's see, so he's actually going to get the sheep up here that you missed. Potentially 2, 3. So that's why you want to like scout with integrity. If you're going to start over here, get this whole corner, you missed 3 sheep. You're going to go to center, go directly center, come out, and then circle. If he had done that, you actually would be in front of his scout right now, cleaning up all these sheep. So just clear up your scouting pattern, and also make sure that you are back scouting his base by the time he ages up, so you can see what they're doing. But especially Order of the Dragon, every sheep counts. See, you're not getting these corners. 2 sheep right here. So just really make sure you're scouting to fidelity. By that I mean getting the entire corner. Don't skip out. We're not making a villager here. Okay, so we lost our villager production. This is really important. You need to always be making villagers. Every villager you make then collects resources, hypothetically, for the rest of the game if they don't die. And so that's a lot of resources. So every villager you forget to make, you've lost all those potential resources. And your opponent, if they are making villagers, is ahead of you eco-wise. That you now have to make up for with better gameplay, better movement. See, look how many sheep he has, and that's just from following your path, basically. Especially for Order of the Dragon, because I'm sorry, I just ran my face at the mic. Because each one of your villagers is worth more. They carry more, they gather faster. So each villager you miss making is even more impactful to you. So you have to make sure you're always making villagers. How do you do that? Big thing is I keep my TC on a hotkey, so in this case side of my mouse. And then I have my scout on 1. So what I can do is I can bounce back queue up more villagers, which always practice using hotkeys. So I'd queue for villagers. I bounce back to my scout by double clicking one. Boom, I'm looking again. So back and forth while I'm scouting to make sure I'm always making villagers. Also, now that you're aging up, you don't want to stay eat on food. See what you're doing here? So you haven't made a villager for a while. This is, I'm going to emphasize again, this is so massive. But two, as you're aging up, what do you think you want to do when you age up? You want to fight? You want to rush castle? Those things are you split your villagers depending on what you want to do. So for example, I would only have like 3 or 4 villagers on food right now, and I'd put the rest of my villagers on wood. Gathering wood, because you need to make something. Either you want to rush castle, you need a tower on your goal to protect your villagers, or you want to make production, so you need wood to build a production building. Because right now when you hit feudal, you can't do anything. Second, a big thing for if you want to rush castle as Order of the Dragon is to go on the deer, the nearest deer pack. So sending 5 villagers up here and put them on deer, because there's different gather rates for different food types. So deer and boar gather very, very fast. And so sending 5 to the deer, you put a tower, and then you get the mill on there, and you're gathering a lot of food. And so you could set that up. You could have set that up in Dark Age by just having 1 round of gathering on wood, and then setting that up. You also could have just done straight up just the mill in Dark Age, because he can't attack you really, or he generally won't. But you need to be gathering wood as you age up, so you can do something either defensively or offensively with units. If you gather no wood at all, you're setting yourself up for, if he makes any units, you have no way of stopping that. You did get back just in time though to jump off the sheep. That's really good. Now you're going to wood. I would pull off food though. See, look, you just queued up. Okay, but you're already at 500 food, and you can't use it when you age up. By that I mean you have nothing to spend the food on. And if you're like, well, I'm gonna rush castle, that's all well and good, but a naked castle generally won't work. Like you need, especially because he's Ayyubid. Ayyubid get the free unit on the age up with the military wing, so you have to have a tower at least to protect your villagers. If you're gonna get the tower, send 3 villagers to stone and do 1 round of stone gathering, so you can upgrade the tower of arrow slits. That's really, really important for defensive purposes. You don't even know the deers here because you didn't scout that. Like your scouting is really holding you back right now. Are we going 2 TC? Okay, so this is a huge issue I see at this elo. So once again, very expected for your current skill level, which is doing stuff slowly. Like 2 TC for Order of the Dragon, not bad. You get more eco. Your buildings are very defensive, so you can hold it easier. But if you wanted to do that, you should have been going for the 2nd TC from the jump. So look, you have 600 food right now, right? If that food was instead split between wood and stone, you'd be doing your 2nd TC almost right now. So what you should have done is, instead of keeping all your villagers on food, the second you started the age up, you should have put half your villagers on wood and half the villagers on stone. So you leave like 3 or 4 on food so you can keep making villagers, and then you split between stone and wood from the jump as you're aging up. If you had done that, you would almost have the resources to just drop the TC right now. You could drop it on the gold to protect it. You could drop it on the deer up here if you scout to get food. You could drop it on the wood line here so you can get easy wood access. Whatever you want to do. That's just... Instead, now your 2nd TC is going to be slow, and if your opponent is efficient, he will just send his Desirate up here and completely shut down your 2nd TC. But it's like, what you'll notice players at a higher skill level is that they will make their decision, they'll do it efficiently and quickly. So I'm going to go 2 TC, cool. While I'm aging up, I am making... Okay, he just... You're lucky. While I'm aging up, I am splitting all my villages between wood and stone. Oh, I want a fast castle. I'm going to get enough wood to get a tower and 1 production building, like a stable, and then I'm going purely on food and gold. I'll get enough wood for like 1 house, and I'll get the age up, I'll start making knights, I'll get relics. You know, they are efficient with their resources. Don't leave your scout in one spot. Keep scouting. Either uncover the rest of the fog of war or stay around your opponent's base, because you want to see what they're doing. So what are they doing? If you see their tower and gold, that probably means they want to rush castle. You would see he has, but he dropped 2 production buildings, so that actually means he's going to make production. And oh my god, I'm sorry, you cannot do this TC. This is an insane OTC. Why is this an insane OTC? Well, 1, your villagers have to walk across the map. So the entire time they're walking, they are not gathering anything. So this is a huge eco hit as they're walking across the map to drop this TC. Two, this TC is completely in the open, and much bigger issues. The TC is completely open. TCs are not invincible. In fact, they're not that strong in this current makeup of the game. All he has to do is make a few units, drop a ram, and that TC dies, and all those resources go down the drain. And all the villagers around here are not really protected. Yes, you can put 7 in the TC, but once you have more than 7 villagers, those villagers just die. So your villagers could die either on the way there, they're wasting time setting it up, and this TC is completely open. You do not want to do this. The farthest I would have placed this TC is like here. Just put on this gold, this wood, and this deer here. You could have got all those resources. Amazing. In fact, I think he thought you were going to do that, which is why he set the Deserator over here. Or maybe you got lucky. But that's the farthest, because it's still within range that you can drop a production building and go protect it. But a TC down here, if you drop production down there, well, this deer base is unprotected. If you drop production here, this TC is unprotected. It's just impossible to protect. That's sort of TC you drop in Castle Imperial, and you have walls up, and you're dropping it over here, but it doesn't matter because you have walls everywhere. Like, that's way too in the open and way too risky, and it's not worth that. Yes, the boar is really nice, but you should ask yourself, wait, where are my boar and deer? Where could they be? Oh, they're over here. Like, there's no way a unit, like, there's no way. Well, you actually see the boar and the deer right there. So I don't know why you're going across the map with so many villagers. This is so many villagers to do that with. But also just look at your resources. Like, you have a bunch of food and some wood and no gold, and you can't spend it. Like, if you had an archer range, you could be making archers. If you had a stable, you can be making horsemen. And let me tell you, he doesn't really have that many units. So horsemen right here, 2 of your horsemen could kill these archers and get them off these berries. Like, you are now at the mercy waiting for this TC to be built, instead of not doing something with units. Like, a huge thing at this level is just making units and fighting, instead of walking down and doing whatever this is. Sorry, that sounds rude, but it's more like it's better to be trying to do something as efficiently and directly as possible. A big thing you should be doing is consistently checking your resources, and basically just like info panel on the left here. So every free moment you have, you should be asking yourself, am I making villagers? I am. And I call this the macro cycle. So am I making villagers? Yes. How are my resources looking? And do I need to adjust? Oh, yes, I have a lot of food, but like no gold. Maybe I need to send 3 villagers to gold. And then you need to ask yourself, what am I trying to do? I actually don't know what you're trying to do. You're trying to drop a second TC? We could be more efficient. But this also allows you to see the population. So you're checking resources, see, oh, I need to drop a house because you're being housed right now. A house means you can't make anything until you get a house down. So you can build more houses. And you can realize I have a lot of food. So actually I need gold and wood. Am I trying to rush castle? Okay, I need to get on gold. I almost have the food. Like, asking yourself what you're trying to do allows you to move your villagers to then do those things, which then makes you more effective. And asking yourself what you're trying to do and adjusting that has you think through the game in a way that will make you make better decisions, because right now the decisions aren't happening as efficiently. And I would try being aggressive. I would try to TC into aggression. I would try fast castling, but make these decisions at the start of the game and go for it. And if you have to change in the middle of the game, that's fine, but then move your villagers in a way that supports the thing you're trying to do. That's the big key thing here. You try to drop in the house. But look, you already have 1,000 food. Feeding the boar, you're gonna have too much food. Like, you'll have food you won't even know what to do with. Food for days. I'm gonna watch your camera angle. So you can only have 8 on boar. So you have 9 villagers there right now. Okay. So he just sees your TC. I bet you that TC is not long. Well, it shouldn't be long for this world. But see, here's what I mean. You have so many resources. You could be in castle right now if you'd been gathering gold. Which castle allows you to get relics, allows you to get better units. You could be making a lot of units right now if you had any production building. And you have 800 woods. You could be dropping production buildings. But I'm watching your camera right now. And you're trying to drop a tower, which makes sense. It's in the open. But look how you have to now sit in the TC here because of this. And look, you're being attacked elsewhere. You're being attacked back at base. You don't even realize it. But you see how much you have to, like, and now here comes the ramp. And you can't see it's exactly as I said. You can't defend it because you don't have any military. And now you're out of food. And what sucks is that all your food is by that TC, which is going to get destroyed soon. And now you have... So really the issue is you should never made military. Like, you have the resources to have so many units, but... And so here's what your opponent did. As comparison. Your opponent hit feudal and immediately dropped production. And while he's not efficient at it per se, he is making units. He is making units and he's running across the map and he's attacking you. And you notice how effective that is. Because he has units and he's making you have to react. You could have units instead. You are now just dropping a barracks that you could have dropped from the second you hit feudal and actually been making units. And yeah, I can see where this game's going from here. Like, you have to have 10 villagers to shoot this battering ram. Don't do that. Just have the villagers still gather resources and then make units. Build like 3 more barracks. You have the resources for it. That's good. But this is a waste. These villagers should be doing something. And once again, what do you need? You need wood. So I need to get on wood. I need gold. I could get on this gold. Like, ask yourself the things you need and realize that, like, you know, let's watch your camera angle again. Like, this isn't hurting you. You don't need to overwatch this. But you need to get your villagers out of the TC because they're not gathering anything. He's idled your villagers for so long. And then the TC's gonna die. Okay. I think we've seen enough to kind of give you some ideas here. So, big thing. First, have a plan in mind that you're gonna try to execute. And do it efficiently. So you're gonna 2TC, do that while raging up. If you're going to make units and go fight. If you're going to fast castle, split your units on gold and food, and get some wood on the age up so you can get towers or units if you need to. But a big thing is just like using your resources and looking at your resources and asking what I have too much of and moving your villagers. I would highly suggest you just make military and try that, because at your level, just making a lot of production buildings and making units and fighting is going to be really successful. And it teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you how to balance your economy. It teaches you to continuously make units. It teaches you to try and attack. And those are all good skills. So I'd heavily push you at this early stage to just try feudal attack. And then add other things after that. 2, make sure that you are splitting and getting a lot of different resources. Something I want to check. Yeah, so you don't have any of your eco upgrades, which are really important, like wheelbarrow. And double broadaxe. So you want to make sure you're getting your upgrades, which you need gold for. And make sure you're always making villagers, which will also be huge for you. And my also suggestion, watch some games of people playing, like on Twitch or an AOE full world using the watch feature. And just watch people play and see what they do and see how they react to things. I think it's really helpful. For example, you could watch my other replay reviews, and just watching my other replay reviews, you will see other people play, which will help you do that as well. But yeah, I hope that was helpful to you, and good luck on your games.